Hello, this video is on how to do 10-3, the homework on schoology. So this would be helpful to study for the quiz tomorrow. So if we look at these questions here, it says solve x squared plus 2 equals 6 by graphing the related function. So to graph this, we're going to bring the 6 over and make it x squared. So I'm going to subtract 6, so it's going to be minus 4 equals 0. So we're going to graph y equals x squared minus 4. Now if you remember from previous times graphing, a plus on the x squared is a happy face parabola, and a minus on an x squared is a frown face parabola. So since this is multiple choice, we can see that the answer, because there's a plus here, or it's a positive x squared, you can see the answer is either C, B, or D. It's definitely not A. A would be negative x squared plus 2 equals 6. Well, actually would equal negative 6, but either way, it's not the right answer because this is a frown face. Okay, so if we were to solve this just a regular way by subtracting 2 from each side, we would have x squared equals 4. And then when I took the square root of both sides, I'll get x equals plus or minus 2. Sorry for the writing. I'm writing with the mouse. Okay, so x equals plus or minus 2. So if you look at these answers here, this one is x equals plus or minus 2. This one, this is no solution, because it doesn't, we're looking for where the parabola crosses the x-axis. And here it's 2 point something. In this case, it's the square root of it, plus or minus the square root of 8. So this is our answer right here, and I can check it by solving it here. So it's a happy face parabola, positive x squared, and when we solve it, we get plus or minus 2. Here is also a positive x squared, but there's no solution. And here, again, positive x squared, but the solution is the square root of 8, plus or minus the square root of 8. Okay, the next question. The quadratic equation x squared plus a equals 0, where a is greater than 0, meaning a is positive, has at least one real solution. Always has at least one, sometimes never. Okay, so if we just experiment here, x squared, let's say it's 1 equals 0, or x squared plus 100 equals 0, just a positive number. Well, you can see that when I bring this over to the other side and square root it, I'm going to get x squared equals negative 1, and on this one I'm going to get x squared equals negative 100. And if I solve either one of these by taking the square root of both sides, I'm going to be taking the square root of a negative number. So this will be no solution. So this never will have a solution when a is a positive number. Okay, the last two questions here are solve these, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to take 7x squared plus 6 equals 13, and we're going to get x squared by itself, so get rid of the 6 first, and we get 7x squared equals 7. Divide both sides by 7, and you get x squared equals 1. And then when you take the square root of both sides, once the square root's by itself, you're going to get x equals, and it could equal negative 1, or it can equal positive 1. So that's what this means here. It could be plus or minus 1. And then when I take the number and I check it, and I bring it back here and I check it, so 7 times 1 squared plus 6 is that 13. And 7 times negative 1 squared plus 6 is that 13. And yes, they both check out to be 13. So 1 squared is 1, 7 plus 6 is 13. Negative 1 squared is 1, 7 plus times 1, 7 times 1 plus 6 is 13. Okay, and then this question here is kind of like the number 2 where A was positive. Well, we have a 4 over here, but let's see what happens. So you're going to take the 20 and you're going to move it to the other side. But what happens is when you move it, subtracting 20 from each side, you're going to get negative 16. And you're going to want to think the answer is negative 4. But when you take the square root of both sides, you get no solution because you can't take the square root of a negative number. Okay, so that's a short video on 10-3, which will be on the quiz tomorrow. God bless you and have a nice day.